So I modded my Xbox 360. I know, wowie, amazing, right? But now I can play pretty much any 360 game I want. Well, the ones that work, that is. Screw you, eBay, and screw you, Super Mega Replay in Evansville. I am not paying for your overpriced garbage. Anyway, since I got my 360 modded, I decided to look up the worst rated 360 games on Metacritic, and I found a game called Amy. And since it is the spooky season, I figured, hey, you know, why not review a horror game? Get out of my comfort zone for once. I can do it. I'm a man. Anyways, as you can tell, it's poorly rated, with critics criticizing the game for its awkward camera angles, poor stealth mechanics, poor voice acting, and poor frame rates. This game is cited as one of the worst games of the 2010s, but I am not gonna let that shit get in the way of any potential enjoyment I can get out of this game. So I took a go at it, and I have some things to say. Here is my review of Amy. So in Amy, you play as Lana, and she is the caretaker of a nonverbal autistic girl named Amy. And Amy is scared of this black man. Racist. But all is well as Lana gives Amy a gift. An iPad.
It's the latest thing.
Oh, sorry, it's not an iPad. It's the latest thing. Merry Christmas, Amy. Apparently, Amy was a test subject at a place called the Phoenix Center, and apparently she didn't have a good time there. Lana gets a call and does girl things on her iPhone while Amy draws on her the latest thing, and it's a scary drawing. I had that problem too as an autistic child, you know, I can relate. What's not relatable is the immediate explosion that happens outside, turning the city into an apocalyptic wasteland. The train starts to crash and a zombie BTFOs Lana. She wakes up and Amy is missing.
Amy, where is she? I need to find her.
So we do some exploring. We find a dead zombie, we pick up a wooden stake, and ooh, a creepy black shadowy figure. And we also find some heroin. Okay, it's actually a decontamination syringe, but calling it heroin is funnier, so I'm just gonna call it that from now on. So we get off the train and fight our first zombie. After that, we do some more exploring and we find a guy named Marcello, who's actually not a zombie. He's very joysy.
Amy, this nice lady here really wants to find you. So we can all go on and get away from all these monsters.
Unfortunately, our only way out is locked off, so we gotta find a way to get out. We come across a locked door and Marcello gives us a DNA cracker to try to unlock it, and surprise, surprise, it doesn't work because it's locked to someone's DNA. So what you gotta do is search the area for dead bodies or blood, scan them, and pray to God they're the right ones.
It's not the right one.
I struggled with this for some reason, and this is the first part of the game. It is a skill issue on my part though, like me for most of my playthrough. So what you gotta do is follow these dots on your radar, and when your radar flashes like this, that's your cue to scan. And sometimes what you scan isn't the correct thing. So as I said before, you gotta pray that the thing you scanned is the right one. This leads us back to the train, so we scan some blood, which has the correct DNA, and we're greeted by our conductor friend. Now after the fight, this might be a good time to shoot up some heroin to heal. Once we unlock the door, we have another obstacle. We have to enter a random code. You only have 5 tries. It's a guessing game, but the icons below the icons tell you if you're getting warmer or colder. You have to do this twice in the game, and it's annoying as shit. Now that we've gotten the gate unlocked, we reunite with Amy and try to get the hell out of here. So here comes the first team-up mechanic, if you will, of the game. Amy can crawl through small spaces, and you can essentially command her to do tasks like press a button.
Push the button, Amy. You did it! Bravo, Amy!
Once we get the door unlocked, we find ourselves a walkie-talkie and a strap-on contamination meter. The light on her back basically tells us how contaminated she is or how close she is to becoming a zombie. It's not necessarily a health meter in the normal sense, but it shows how contaminated you are and how contaminated an area is. Now Amy, just like me, is a bit of a nerd. She can mash a keyboard and somehow that unlocks doors. How useful.
I'm so proud of you, Amy. You did it!
After some exploring, some shimmying, and some fighting, we get to our first puzzle, if you can even call it that. There's some sections in the game where you and Amy have to split up in order to solve them, and most of them involve elevators. For example, in this section, you can command Amy to stay put on the elevator, you climb this ladder, and then you press a button that takes her up the elevator. Then you command her to press the button on that floor to open the gate to the end of the chapter.
I'm so proud of you, Amy. You did it.
After that, Marcello sees some soldiers and asks us to hide as he asks for help. Chapter 1 done, woohoo! So Marcello talks to the soldiers who then BTFO him.
Oh, shit.
Rest in peace, Mr. Joyzy man, we hardly knew ye. After that, Amy runs away scared shitless after witnessing a man get brutally murdered. Can't say I blame her. Now we're trying to find her, but we have a little obstacle in our way. Oof. So this area will be the first place you'll find out about the contamination mechanic. Without Amy, you're left to rot. As stated before, the light on your back shows how contaminated an area is. If you stand around too long, you'll get even more contaminated and eventually die, so be careful. Avoid the blood puddles, use your heroin when appropriate, and you'll be good. So we find Amy in the locker, and suddenly Lana turns British.
I'm pleased I found you.
We then hear a thump. Oh, shit.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
Alright, let's try this again. The goal here is to just run to this room with Amy's lamp on. Then you can go back to where you were. Along the way, you'll find some demonic symbols that Amy can draw on her the latest thing to gain more powers. Mostly useless powers, but powers nonetheless. More exploring, more fighting, more hacking, and here is where you'll have to deal with the soldiers. You cannot kill them. They will snipe you or punch you in an instant, and it's a one-hit kill. So be careful here. I struggled at this part, but apparently during this section, I found out that there was a patch that fixed some things up and made the game slightly easier. So I downloaded the patch and found out that that didn't really help, but I powered through it. So in this section, you gotta distract the soldier, hide in this locker, wait, and 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 then you can run to the door, but oh wait, it's DNA locked, god damn it. So back to more DNA searching, blah, blah, blah. Look, this is all you do. Poor levels, monotonous puzzles, exploring, fighting, that's it. Amy gets more powers while you play, but in my playthrough, I only got 2 powers. The silence power and the shockwave power. Was there supposed to be more and I didn't even know about them? There's more slots on Amy's weapon wheel, so I don't get it. All right, so I'm not gonna talk too much about the story here. Let's skip to chapter 5. This section relies on stealth, and by far, this is the worst level of the game. You're supposed to make it across the city without the zombies spotting you, and it seems like no matter what you do, you always get spotted. It's so frustrating. I almost gave up on this part, but I eventually did it, so here's how I did it. So you tell Amy to stay put. Slowly walk your way to this vent that's spewing red mist. Here you'll be more contaminated, but you can use this to your advantage as if you walk slowly enough, the zombies will think you're one of them. So you push this thing and this thing, meet up with Amy, who I forgot to mention will slowly heal you if you hold her hand, by the way. Push her through this pipe, go back to the vent and get contaminated again. Push this taxi, sound this alarm to get the zombies to go towards it, find the scribble so Amy can draw it to gain the silence power, which also gives you a checkpoint, thank God. Use the silence power on these shards of glass, slowly make your way through to this crane, Find this other scribble so Amy can draw it to gain the shockwave power. Shockwave the second car past this crane, not the first, very important. Then the car behind you. Go behind this wall of sheet metal, shockwave the first car past the crane, walk through, and you're into the alleyway. Grab the key card, take out the zombie, and now you're past probably one of the worst parts, if not the worst part of the game. But you're not done yet. There's not a checkpoint here, so you gotta keep moving on. Go inside this building, use Amy's shockwave on these pieces of wood, then hide in the locker. Finally, we have another checkpoint, thank Christ. And then you gotta deal with this sewer section with more monotonous puzzles and fighting and scanning. Ugh. This level sucked. Checkpoints are sparse, it's long, tedious, and I had a major issue with the shockwave power not going past the crane. Yeah, you gotta deal with invisible walls, and this will bite you in the ass if you use all your shockwaves before refilling them at the crane, because if you go inside the building and you run out of power, you're screwed. You have to start that section over again. It's obnoxious. So now we're in the final chapter. In this chapter, you're fighting this super zombie man. You're supposed to collect AEDs because apparently you can kill zombies, but all you really have to do is go into this section with the electric mines, wait for the zombie to attack, beat the shit out of him, run to the other mine, wait for him to attack, beat the shit out of him, repeat. You do this a couple times and then he dies. I have a question. What was the point of picking up those AEDs? All you use in this section is a crowbar. I thought you had to switch to the AEDs, but no, there's no way to do that. What was the point? At the end of the game, Lana does a monologue about how brave Amy is or something, and it seems like they tease a sequel at the end of the cutscene, which is interesting. Sadly, a sequel never came out. I wonder why. So at the end of the day, what did I think of Amy? Well, look, it's not a good game, but honestly, I expected a lot worse. Yeah, the levels are bad, the voice acting is bad, the puzzles are bad, the combat is bad, Amy's AI is bad, it's bad. But some sadistic part of me expected the game to be completely broken. Sure, I had some issues with Amy's AI. Sometimes she'd move even though I told her to stay put, and sometimes it's easy for her to get lost. Sure, I had some minor glitches like this one where I'm holding on to Amy while she slides on the ground, or me falling into the electric water because I didn't shimmy properly, or Amy falling into the electric water because I ran too fast into the wall. I'll admit, they were kind of funny. Also, the camera angles were weird. I guess they were trying to be cinematic, but they failed on that. Like, what is this? Oh, and there's that, and the game was super dark on all my displays. I'm sorry my gameplay was so dark, but brightening them up in post would make the game look a lot worse in my opinion, so I hope y'all don't mind. Thanks 360. But I didn't experience anything game-breaking, which part of me is like, I feel disappointed, but at the same time, I feel relieved because that would add so much time to my playthrough, and I already spent like 5 hours playing this game. It's just thank God it wasn't that broken, you know what I mean? But overall, the game is super bland. Is it one of the worst games of the 2010s? Well, yeah, definitely. But for me, Amy gets 2 heroin shots out of 5.
I'm sorry, Amy. I'm a little overworked.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. If you want to support me and the channel, donate to my coffee, the link is in the description, and if you're looking for more ENunGaming, check out my review of the DS and iOS ports of Skated. The video actually did really well in the algorithm, so thank you guys so much for the support, and shout out to those who called me bald. You know who you are. Have a good one, y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.